You used to always say about all your opponents smash, right? So is
Yeah,
Robert Whittaker going to get smashed on Saturday?
of course, I'm going for that. So I'm always happy to go for the fights. Yeah, health is good, everything is good shape, ready for a fight.
Khamzat Chimaev clapped back at his Australian opponent Robert Whittaker ahead of their anticipated fight at the UFC 308 event. Khamzat Chimaev shared that he is ready for fight week, and it's been the same as always. Chimaev showed his confidence when he downplayed Robert Whittaker and dismissed him by calling him an easy opponent.
It was amazing, like always had us in the cage, so happy for go for that.
God. And, it's so funny. I feel like this fight with Robert Whittaker is one the fans have been asking for since almost the very beginning when you came to the UFC. A lot of people, I think, see Robert Whittaker as a very strong, well-rounded test for Khamzat. What sort of assessment do you make of Robert? Do you think that he's the biggest test that you fought so far?
I don't know, but in my mind, I don't think so. So we'll see. We'll see what he's gonna bring.
Furthermore, Robert doesn't think that Chimaev is the best grappler he has ever faced, but he is certainly one of the most dangerous ones since he is in front of him right now.
I don't think he'd be the best, but I definitely think he's the most dangerous because he's in front of me right now, right? I think it's very hard to compare the two because just different times, but Chimaev's wrestling is very, very good.
Khamzat Chimaev's decision to return to his former coach, Salim Nutsalkanov, who guided him during his wrestling career before he transitioned to MMA, is raising eyebrows ahead of his highly anticipated fight in Abu Dhabi. While many analysts consider this a bold but foolish choice, fighter-turned-analyst Chael Sonnen sees it differently. At the same time, Chael empathized with Bors's former coach, Andreas Michael, the head coach of All-Star Training Center, saying, "I would feel very bad for that team because I know those coaches, man. They took you in like a son. That would be very hard." However, Sonnen finds the switch intriguing, stating, "I'm just speaking purely about Khamzat Chimaev and where I think he can go. There will be nobody that knows him better than the coach who took him in as a little boy and guided him until he became a young man." Meanwhile, former UFC star Chael Sonnen shared his unique perspective on the matchup. He shared that Chimaev may just take down the fierce Whittaker in Abu Dhabi.
Chimaev versus Whittaker. My prediction. I have the foggiest idea. Who do you guys think is going to win that fight? Who's going to win that fight? And do you want to know? You guys remember The Godfather? So he is defiant, Joel. Defiant. This fight will not happen. He is angry that the UFC has not yet told us who the backup is going to be. He believes they have a backup. He believes there is a backup quietly licensed and in the Middle East right now. And I just couldn't imagine who that would be. And he believes that person's going to take on Whittaker.
On the opposite end, Robert Whittaker expressed concern for his opponent Khamzat and said that it would be a really tough fight. Robert shared, "If you take away all the noise, he's very dangerous. There's a high-caliber wrestling game that he's adapted to MMA, and he's got knockout power as well, and a chin. He can take shots, he can give shots. He's a hard fight for anyone, and I like being the underdog, the anomaly. It's a position of strength for me." On the other hand, plenty of people are undermining Khamzat's talent, and they believe he will be the huge underdog in this fight. But Chimaev remains confident in dismissing all such doubts.
People think about a lot of things, so everyone has a different mindset, different head, so I can't go with them. Can't give with everyone.
Earlier this week, the Australian fighter Robert Whittaker spoke about the upcoming showdown with Khamzat. Whittaker mentioned that he has drawn inspiration from Brazilian fighter Gilbert Burns' performance against Chimaev at UFC 273. Although Burns put up a good fight, Khamzat ultimately won by unanimous decision. Robert added, "Burns took away Khamzat's grappling strength by putting pressure on him in the stand-up. In my opinion, I am a better striker than Gilbert Burns. I believe I will have an easier time landing decisive strikes. I am also good at defending takedowns. I am better than Burns at maintaining distance and controlling the opponent in the stand-up." Robert Whittaker also shared that he is working hard to become the champion, and he has a major advantage in the stand-up fighting stance.
Hopefully, I believe I have the advantage in the stand-up world, and if he's going to really try and force that story of taking me down, he'll only get more tired for it. You can believe that every time you don't see me in a ring or on, with gloves and mitts on, I'm on the mats wrestling, and yeah, I'm putting in that work.
In addition, Robert Whittaker also shared that his fight with Khamzat will be a journey for improving his skills. Whittaker commented, "For better or worse, all hard things make me better, and I can only see this test facing a guy who's 15-0, as a great test to go through. Imagine how good I'm going to be after this fight. Whittaker has been active this year, and UFC 308 marks his third fight in 2024. One needs to go back to 2014 to find the last time he competed 3 times in a calendar year. Robert stated, "This is my third fight this year. I haven't done that in a long time, but I feel better than I ever have. I feel strong. I feel fit. I'm excited for the test and the trial. It's exciting because I feel it in my blood. I feel the heat. I feel locked in and dangerous, like a hunter. That's what I've been perfecting over the last year. I'm going into this fight to be a hunter, to be dangerous." Even though Chimaev may be prone to sickness, he shared that this time will be different since he has a new coach. Khamzat added, "I used to go to the gym and train till I was done, but then I ended up in hospital. Like the last time when I was in hospital 3 times in a row within 3 weeks. My immune system went down, I got sick. Now I use a better approach. I work with good coaches. Salim Nutsalkanov raised a lot of world champions." Previously, UFC CEO Dana White revealed that Khamzat versus Whittaker fight would be a title eliminator, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Chimaev shared that he is focused on the fight, and he is not worried about the titles at this point, which is a question for Dana White.
I don't know that question to Dana White. I don't know. So I'm focused on fight on Robert, and after that we're going for the belt as well. So we will see.
Meanwhile, Chimaev shared his thoughts on Robert Whittaker as his next opponent by saying, "This version of Robert Whittaker has been one of the best guys, but now it's my time to beat him. I can catch anyone with my takedown. Will be hard for him. I'm going to finish this guy. He's not hungry like me. He's not that kind of fighter like me. It's a big difference." Additionally, Belal gave his prediction for the fierce matchup. He was skeptical whether the fight would happen, but it seems real since the fight week is here. Belal said that Chimaev will dominate Robert in their fight.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm just hoping that they make it to fight day, right? That's one of those fights I can't wait for it to come, and to know that it's a week away is it's huge. But for myself, I think I got Khamzat taking him down. I don't know, I have him by submission.
Belal has his hopes up for Chimaev as he is convinced that Khamzat's fighting style will allow him to be victorious. Belal further added on how Khamzat will win. "We've seen Whittaker get taken down by Dracus du Plessis with like a headlock, and Khamzat's wrestling is so good to see how dominant he has been with wrestling. I think he's going to go in there and do the same exact thing to Whittaker." But Whittaker really hasn't fought somebody that took him down and held him down except for Dracus du Plessis. Australian mixed martial artist Alexander Volkanovski commented that Robert Whittaker can take down Khamzat. Alex shared that Chimaev is a very tough opponent since he comes with full force head-on, but Robert will be well prepared for that.
I mean, Rob Whittaker, I think I'm surprised he's an underdog. I really am. Again, Khamzat is a very good fighter. You know, I mean, you know that he can bring it and he will bring it, especially early. He's going to bring it, and that's just, he's got one speed, and that's full on, and he's very dangerous. But I think Rob's going to be well prepared for that.
Alex believes that the fight will not end quickly, given the toughness of both fighters, but he gave major props to Robert. Alex added, "I think it goes to later rounds where I think Rob can take advantage of it, but I mean, it is going to be a tough first round 100%, and anyone that faces Khamzat knows that, so I guarantee you Rob is well prepared, and there won't be any surprises for him." Max Holloway has offered his prediction for the UFC 308 co-main event between Whittaker and Chimaev. Holloway is set to face Ilia Topuria in the main event and believes that Whittaker has an edge over Khamzat. Holloway praised Whittaker's ring IQ and striking ability, while also calling him a superior wrestler, which is important for a 5-round fight. Max claimed that Khamzat doesn't have the stamina to go a full 5 rounds, which allows him to believe that Robert will be victorious. Holloway added, "It's a 5-rounder. We've seen Khamzat get tired in 3 rounds. He should be training for 5 rounds, we all know. But it's still his first one. Robert's been fighting 5 rounds forever. That guy is just a vet, a legend, an OG of the sport. I think if he goes out there with that anti-wrestling mindset and doesn't get held down too much, I think he can land something." Meanwhile, Chimaev is adamant that he can smash Whittaker this Saturday, but also accepts him as a worthy opponent.
You used to always say about all your opponents smash, right? So is Robert Whittaker going to get smashed on Saturday?
Of course, I'm going for that. Yeah, he's been a great champ before, like I said before, and he's an elite athlete, you know, so one of the best guys I'm gonna face. But I think I am the best guy in the world right now.
Furthermore, Aussie superstar Alex Volkanovski was among those who were in shock after seeing Khamzat take down an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. However, Alex still believes Whittaker's defense is up to scratch. Alex added, "Did you get to watch the video of him training with the Olympian? 2024 Olympian, so he's active and it wasn't that long ago. And he's Chimaev over there having crazy scrambles with the guy. Let me tell you, that's not easy to do with a guy that wrestles, lives and breathes wrestling. That's all they do." Alex further added on the training clip by Khamzat, "Even if it was just a little clip, some people would have just been like, ah, that's just the best part. Even if that's the best part, you do that to an Olympic gold medalist, that's impressive. Really, really impressive." Despite the training footage, Volkanovski expects Chimaev to come out aggressively against Whittaker on his feet. Alex commented, "He's going to come aggressive, he's going to come strong, he's going to be very good," Volkanovski said. "But I know Rob can handle it. He's shown in the past he's hard to hold down. Rob Whittaker, I think his takedown defense, he's hard to pin down." Kamaru has high hopes for Khamzat, since he believes that Chimaev will manage to take down Whittaker and impose his will on him.
I think Khamzat Chimaev is just special. If he's able to get his hands on you and drag you down to the ground, I think he's able to impose his will down there and potentially get that finish. I do love Robert Whittaker, but if I had to choose, I'm going to go with Khamzat Chimaev.
UFC commentator and former champion Michael Bisping has another question about Chimaev, and that's about his discipline. Bisping commented on his social media, "The reason I say Khamzat Chimaev can become the champion is for several reasons. Of course, he's got a tough fight against Robert Whittaker this weekend. We know, okay, Robert Whittaker is not an easy man to get by. And if he does that, you gotta think there will be a championship fight at some point in the near future. But the real question boils down to self-discipline. On the other hand, Robert Whittaker revealed that he has been sparring with the best of guys in order to prepare for the challenge ahead of him.
Every camp, I try to better my striking. I try to better my wrestling, better my kickboxing. And being able to spar with guys like this, to hone my eyes and reflexes, it's just, like, it's the best thing.
In addition to his comments, the former champ Bisping questioned whether Chimaev had what it takes to actually sustain his maniacal offensive rate for more than one round, since he looked spent at the end of the first round in his last two fights. To be fair, Bisping wasn't all critical of the Chechen Wolf and paid him quite a compliment, albeit a backhanded one, calling Boers the best one-round fighter in the promotion. Bisping further added, "Can Khamzat control his pace, his temper, his anger, his emotions? Can he watch his diet and can he go 5 rounds hard? Because when he went up against Kamaru Usman, yeah, he destroyed Kamaru Usman in the first round, but again, just like against Gilbert Burns, slowed down in the second and the third. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Khamzat Chimaev is probably the best one-round fighter that we have in the UFC. Wonderboy predicted the fight beforehand and said that it's a very tough fight for Khamzat since Robert Whittaker has some of the best takedown defense out of all the UFC fighters.
I think that's a very tough fight for Khamzat. I mean, Robert Whittaker's got some of the best takedown defense in the 185 division. I mean, when you go 10 rounds with Yoel Romero and keep the fight standing, oh my gosh, I mean, that's a feat in its own. But I do believe that I think it's a tough fight for Khamzat. If the fight stays standing, I think Robert Whittaker's got it.
Wonderboy revealed a secret strategy that may just allow Chimaev to win. He added, Khamzat's gonna have to keep him down and hold him down in order to win. Now, Khamzat is a very strong guy. I think he's capable of doing that, but I think he's gonna spend a lot of energy trying to do. So, you go back and watch the fight with Gilbert Burns. He had a very hard time taking down and holding Gilbert Burns down. Do you think Robert Whittaker can take down Khamzat Chimaev? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.